Coach, one of the main reasons Michigan beat Ohio State was they stopped their run. You say stopping the run has to do with two things. Explain.
Well, the history of the game is the team that wins the rushing battle usually wins the game. I'd say always wins the game. And also you got Quinshon Judkins and Trevion Henderson, two future high NFL draft picks. You better contain these guys. And that's what the Wolverines did. Here's what happened. Okay, 26 carries. This is the Ohio State offense. 26 carries for 77 yards, less than 3 yards per carry. 9 of the 26 of those runs went for 0 or minus yardage plays. Trevion Henderson, 10 carries for 21 yards. And then this blew my mind when I saw this. The last 14 plays of the game went with no first downs. Right. That's great run defense. So that's what. Let's talk about how this all happened. As you prepare your game plan, the number one thing about defense to stop the run is you set the edge. I'm going to draw that up here in a minute. Set the edge. What's that mean? You contain. Remember, pursuit is inside, not out, not outside in. So you want to squeeze everything back to your teammates. And then squeeze the gaps. You don't want wide gaps. Everyone has gap responsibility, which we'll cover here in a minute. The second point is penetration. You want your feet across the line of scrimmage. The team that controls, you'll hear that control the line of scrimmage. It's either movement by the offensive line or the defense getting their feet across the line of scrimmage. All right, I just put up a base set. This is a tight end formation, tailback and quarterback against a 4-3 defense. The defense doesn't matter. We're going to focus on setting the edge. So a defensive end's job is to set the edge. And when I say set the edge, and you've made this point many times before, it's not out here. It's here.
Right.
Why? You want to squeeze the A and B gap. If you set the edge and you're firm right here, the gaps start to squeeze. And the backers who have to fill the gaps are very tight, and they can cover that gap. So you want to set the edge on both sides. The second thing you want to do is you want to have penetration and get your feet across the line of scrimmage. So that is the defensive line's responsibility. Why? Notice the gaps are squeezed. You have penetration across the line of scrimmage. That makes the Will, the Mike, and the Sam, their jobs are very easy. You have tight gaps, you have penetration, and you can control your gap. How do you stop a run? Set the edge, contain it, keep guys like Trevion Henderson, Quinshon Judkins in the tackle box.
Right.
You don't want those guys out here.
Right.
The second one is squeeze the gaps. Tight gaps, linebackers can fill those gaps. Second point, penetration. Get your feet, there's a line of scrimmage. At the end of the play, if your feet are across that line of scrimmage, defense wins.
Let's go to the video and watch some game-winning examples of these two things. All right, Coach, we've seen the concept of the edge and penetration on the board. Now let's watch it on the tape.
Now watch Josiah Stewart down here, number 0 for the Wolverines. What's his job? To set the edge or edge the defense. And that's exactly what he's doing. There is a firm edge. So that's Josiah Stewart. And then number 15, Ernest Hausman comes in and makes the tackle. Why did he make the tackle? Because there's an edge to the defense. All right, Jerry, this is a great look at not only setting the edge. Watch Josiah Stewart here. Set the edge. Right. He actually big arms him here with his right arm. And he settles down instead of running up the field. Remember we said you need to compress or shrink the gaps. That's what he's doing. And then look at the penetration.
Right.
One thing I remember we used to always do is you draw a line and you see where the offensive line is or where the ball is. We want the defenders to have their feet across the line of scrimmage. That's how you stop a run. All right, Jerry, I saved the best for last year. Number 42, the defensive end, TJ Guy. I really want the viewer to watch this. First of all, he's getting penetration. His feet cross the line of scrimmage. And then also watch him compress the B gap. There is no B gap.
Right.
When you shrink the B gap, then you also shrink the A gap. But I really want to focus, the ball's on the 14-yard line. And how do you measure if you're penetrating the line of scrimmage? The feet of the defensive lineman. At the end of the day, the corner, the defensive end, and the 2 interior D linemen, where are their feet? Across the line of scrimmage. That's called edge the defense and penetrate the line of scrimmage.
You know, the one thing I love about what you're talking about is the edge player very rarely makes the play. Now, TJ makes it on this one, but it's an unselfish position. All he's doing is forcing the ball back to one of his teammates. So to be an edge player, you got to be an unselfish player.
Always keep in mind, too, pursuit always comes from inside out, not outside in. So you want to force it back to your pursuit.